Hey, hello. It's me. I'm not dead. Surprising, isn't it? So yeah, I'm back. Hopefully, properly. Not like the last time, but for real this time. I don't really know what happened, but things happen, and now I'm back. And I see that I have over 100 subscribers now, and people actually kind of watch my videos. I mean, I made a last video about Cloud of Darkness, and like, let's be real, she's like really kind of underground. I guess proper term would be character. Not really a lot of people know about her or necessarily research videos to watch something about her, but there's like 8 views on that video which I made, which is like nice. Thanks for watching it. So yeah, I'm gonna start making more videos, hopefully, because people actually kind of watch them. Uh, for the time being, a lot of the content which gonna come out is probably gonna be Final Fantasy XIV oriented. So, I mean, if you ever want me to make a video about something else, feel free to leave a comment. But with that being said, today I would like to make a video theorizing about what might happen in the next patch 5.3. Now, originally I wanted to make a video kind of theorizing what might happen like in general in like 5.4, 5.5, and then eventually in the next expansion 6.0. But I feel like the way things are right now, they might go in many different directions, and depending on how they go from there, things might develop in very different ways. So what I decided to do is that I'm going to make kind of like a grand big theory video about 6.0 once 5.3 comes out, which is August 11th. I believe it's been confirmed. So for now, I'm going to just predict what I think might happen in 5.3. Now, one thing that I would like to predict, I guess you can say, is that Graha is probably gonna die. It's not something new or unique. A lot of people kind of share this idea that there's a very high chance of him dying. We actually might see something similar to how he initially wanted to die. If you remember, he wanted to take our light and kind of yeet himself and die this way, but he was prevented from doing so by Hades. So this time around, we might see him doing something similar to Elidibus, where he succeeds. So, he gets to do what he initially wanted to do. And I think that the main theory is that Graha will die, but I also think that he will awake the Graha in the source, and he will join the Science. Because if you think about it, the Science right now are down two Science. Papalimo died back in Heavensward, and Lise is currently not part of the Science. So I think introducing Graha and making him one of the Science, I think it can work. I think it can definitely work. Now, as to how he will die, I really cannot say. My best speculation is that it will be obviously tied to Elidibus and whatever the fuck he's doing right now. But the question is, what is Elidibus doing? And I think that's the biggest part where we can theorize, because there's a lot of things we can say as to what he might be doing. For example, I think it's very obvious that he's not trying to kill us. I've seen some people throw out the idea that maybe it's another primal, maybe, it's something along those lines. I think at this point, Elibus understands two things. First, using primals is not an option anymore. We practically eat primals at this point. We defeated the strongest primal, being Shinryu, when he was fused with Xenos. And I know that there's some different theories as to whether we did it 101 or with a group of people. And with that being said, I'm just gonna quickly throw it out there, right? I'm gonna talk about it more in a future video where I will attempt to do power scaling in Final Fantasy XIV. But for now, I just want to say that from everything that I learned, it feels like the developers are trying to make it so both theories are correct, where people around you seem to say that, in some cases it's like, oh, it was 101, but in some cases you have some NPC characters who are like, oh, I thought I saw some people with you up there. So I think the idea is that they are trying to make it so that both theories are valid, and in the end of the day, it's like, it's up to you if you want to believe that you were with a group of people or if you were one versus one. My personal headcanon is that majority of the important fights we did were one versus one, such as, us versus Omega, us versus Midji, us versus Shinryu and Xenos. Hades is like a weird one because I genuinely cannot explain how it works, because at first I thought that, oh, maybe those are the other reflections of us that are still not connected with us, but then it's like, no, there's too many people. There should be like 4 or 5 of our reflections left, I think, but there was like 6 people or 7, yeah. So I don't know how to explain it, but I'm still going with the idea that, no, majority of fights we fought them 101, and I just like that narrative. So with that being said, I think Elibus, he did not say it outright, but he implied that, yeah, trying to kill us is not easy anymore. Like, he cannot summon a primal to kill us, because even if he summoned summoning someone of the same strength as, let's say, Shinryu or Bahamut, that's not gonna be easy. And there's no guarantee that we can even that they would even win. So that's not a good plan. Now, some people theorize that what Elibus is trying to do is to turn the people of the first against us. That one is dubious, because if you think about it, not many people would turn against us. Like, you have Nightblessed and Viera, or Vis, you can say in Rictica Wood, I believe it's pronounced, and they will obviously not turn against us. You have people of Yulmore, they will not turn against us. You have, I guess, Fish in the Tempest, they don't give a fuck. You have the people of Armarang, not gonna turn against us. Ilmeg, obviously not. Fel is gonna fucking dunk on Elibus before he can even try to speak with them. So, when it comes to trying to turn people against us, the only ones he can actually try to turn are people of Lakeland and Crystanium. And when it comes to those people, I feel like at best he will be able to turn only like half of people against us. So let's assume it's half of the Crystanium, half of Lakeland against us. It's not actually going to do a lot. Like, they cannot hurt us. We are so strong, powerful, durable, and all those things that they will not even hurt us. And if we fight them, we can easily kill them, or we can even just how do you say it? Neutralize them, like, not kill them, we can just beat them up until they stop fighting. We can do that. So it's like, I don't think that's his plan. I don't think that it is valuable either. I think what Elibus is trying to do ultimately is to stall us. He might have something brewing in the source, and he might wait until all of our friends are in a crystal, and that's when he attacks, trying to stall us. So there will be a chance that our Saiyan friends might die in a crystal, while whatever he's making in the source might happen. So how can he do that? I don't really know, but I think there's a good chance that the eventual trial fight, which we will have in 5.3, will be Arbert. I think it's going to be Elibus in Arbert's body, who will use possibly ether of the people who follow him, all those people who now follow the Warrior of Light, with possibly Heidelin's power to an extent, to essentially make a Warrior of Light versus Warrior of Light. Because I don't think Elibus is gonna fight us openly, at least not now, because, well, there's two main theories as to why. The first theory is that he is simply not strong, and I like that theory. I like the idea that among all the ancients, we, the 14th, were, in terms of combat, the strongest ones. And then after us, it was like Hades, and Elibus was not really that strong. It's just not his feud. But even if you don't want to assume that, the other reason might be that Elbus simply does not want to take a risk. Like Hades, and Elbus is probably not stronger than Hades, so even if we say that Elbus is as strong as Hades, we just killed him. And Elbus might not just want to risk it because he's the final unsundered Ascian left, so he might just not want to risk it. And again, I don't think his final goal is to necessarily kill us. I think it's to delay us for whatever reason. Now, let me take a sip real quick. There's no editing on this channel. Hell nah, fuck cuts. Anyhow, so I think that's the rough idea, because there has to be a reason as to why he turned all of those people into actual warriors of light, actually gave them Hydaelyn's blessing. I think what might happen is that in 5.3, to some extent, we will fight against Hydaelyn, and there will be an idea that, oh, Hydaelyn might not be that good, or at the very least, we will fight Hydaelyn in the future, because I think eventually that's what it's going to be. We will fight Hydaelyn in one form or another. My personal theory is that Xenos actually is going to kind of take control of Hydaelyn's power, as where Elibus is going to take control of Zodiac's powers, and we will kind of just rejoin fully, and that's going to be the final fight, but that's like going too far. So, back to 5.3. So that happens now. How is it going to be resolved? I think it's going to be resolved by Xenos. Now, some people threw out the idea that Xenos might come to the first to learn about ancients. I don't think he needs to. Like, he is currently with a person who, I think in implications are, knows all about ancients. And I think this person is just going to explain to Xenos, like, what's the situation. What I think might happen, though, is that Xenos is going to fuck over whatever plan Elibus has in the source, and Elibus is going to notice it, and Elibus is going to be like, okay, now I not only have to deal with Warrior of Light, I also have to deal with Xenos. And so he's going to be like, okay, that's too much for me, I'm going to yeet for now. And he's going to leave the body, and he's going to leave. And I think that's eventually going to lead to him gathering all the Ascians who are currently alive. And he's going to be like, okay, whatever you're working on, you stop that. We need to deal with Xenos and Warrior of Light, because they are breaking shit big times. Now, who is the person with Xenos? I think it's either one of the people who follow the Vitat. Vitat, is that how you pronounce the name? Vitaya? The person who summoned Hydaelyn, essentially. People actually threw out the idea that it's a woman. I guess it would make sense given that Hydaelyn is a woman, and this person eventually becomes Hydaelyn's heart. And then you have Zodiac, who's a man, and whose heart is Elibus, who is a man. So I think they might, and also there's another reason, I think, because this person is a reference to a character in Final Fantasy XII who was with Vayne. So, and that person was a woman as well, I believe, I think. So, yeah, but anyhow, the point is that that person is either a friend we see with Vidit, or whatever they pronounce the name, in the cutscene after doing the currently final dungeon in the game, or just one of the person in their kind of group of people. I think it's it might be the only Ascian who was on Hydaelyn's side who is unsundered, who might be leading Xenos to reclaim Hydaelyn to do whatever. So yeah, I think we will get some flashbacks. I think we might get an Elibus flashback. We kind of might peek into his mind and get a flashback, maybe finally telling us who Elibus is, who this Elibus is, and how he's connected to the other Elibus, if in any way. We might get another hint at the 14th Ascian, aka who we used to be, most likely. And I think we might get confirmation as to who this person with Xenos is. And I think that might be the end of 5.3. And whatever happens after that, we will see. I'm definitely going to be making a theory about that. But yeah, for all I know, 5.3 might be completely different from all I just said. He might throw out some curveball. I don't know. But that is my core theory as to now. I'm just trying to remember if there was anything else that I did not mention that should be talked about, but I think I talked about everything. Graha dying, young Graha joining Science, Elbus, Arbert fight, Xenos doing some shady shit. I guess the only thing I would like to mention is that I would love for a moment in the story where Elibus is taunting Warrior of Light, and Warrior of Light just fucking snaps and attacks Elibus out in the open in front of everyone. Like, you remember how Warrior of Light looked after defeating Thornton in Heavensward? I want something like this again. I want a terrifying, scary Warrior of Light again. I love that shit. So, yeah, something as simple as that, like, Arbor just literally taunting us, and you can see Warrior of Light just getting angrier and angrier, angrier and angrier, and then they just fucking snap and go for it. But that is my theory. That's my those are my ideas, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope that you still remember who I am, and if you want to stick around, do so, please. I will have another Final Fantasy XIV video coming out soon-ish, and I think that one might be more interesting. I think it's somewhat unique. At least I came up with the concept yesterday, so we will see. But anyhow, with that being said, thank you for being here. Hope you enjoyed. Leave whatever thoughts you might have in the comments, and I'll see you around. Bye.